And I will say this one more time in case you did not hear. For the beginning and the majority of this session, feel free to take a seat. I will be moving around a little bit here and there for the sake of showing you good angles to see exactly what I'm doing for today's session. So again, you can get started right now by taking a seat. And the first thing I want to do is work on the ankles. So feel free to lift up one leg here. I like to grab right under the hamstring. What I'm going to do here is rotate. We're just going to focus on one leg here. We'll focus on the other one in about 5 minutes. Rotating one way for about 20 seconds here. Taking your time, making big circles with your toes. And should be nice and easy here. 3, 2, 1. Let's rotate the other way. So it really shouldn't matter whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise with either of your feet, because again, we will be working in both rotations. So take deep breaths here. And again, we'll get started with the other foot in our next set. All right, bring that down. And the next thing I want to do is work a little bit more on stretching and flexing the back. So the way I want to do that is we're going to take our arms, elbows out nice and wide. We'll have a little squeeze. And then I want to bring the arms forward and back, just like that. Really focus on rounding your back as you bring your arms forward. You'll notice as well that my head is facing the floor as I try to stretch out my back. It does give it a little bit of an emphasis in that stretch. Don't forget, we're still doing a little squeeze in the back as we bring our arms to the side like so. Little squeeze in the shoulder blades. Moving forward and back, head goes down and up, just like that. Taking your time. If you want to go a little slower than me, that's fine. Last one here. Excellent. Next up, I want to work the arms. So feel free to shake them out a little bit if you need to. We're going to keep our elbows right here in place, and I want to move the arms up and down, just like that. About a 90-degree bend, downwards and upwards, just like that. This way we're working the rotator cuffs a little bit. And for some, this can be pretty tough. So take your time with this. Don't worry about going too far back. Keeping that little squeeze in the muscles in the back. About 15 seconds here. The big thing is to watch out for your breath. Make sure you're still breathing during this time while holding that squeeze in the back. And relax. All right. Next up, this is the time where I want everyone to stand. So we're going to work on a little leg swing here, going up and down. Notice I have my hand right on my desk for support, going as high as I can and down in front. I know you can't see it, but when I bring my foot downward, I want this leg to go right in front of the other one. So I got my left leg here, and it comes right in front of the right leg. Up and down. One more time. Good. Let's switch legs now. My right leg is in front of my left, and I'm swinging my leg up and down just like that. You might get a little bit of a squeeze in the side of your glutes. Have full control on the way up and down. I know I called it a swing, but I want us to go nice and slow. Last one here. Excellent. All right. Last exercise for this set, I want us to interlace the fingers, bring them right here in front of our hips, and we're going to move them all the way up and all the way down. So for this one, I'm going to be on my knees. You can do this standing all the way up and all the way down. As we do this, go as far back as you can with your arms. I like to try and get my hands a little bit behind my head if I can when I emphasize that squeeze in the back. There's a lot of back squeezing for this session. The big thing here, as we bring our arms up, shoulders will tend to want to shrug. We want to avoid that. So try to keep your shoulders away from your head or your jawline. Let's do one more here. And bringing it down. All right, so that was everything for the first set. Let's go back to our first exercise with those foot rotations. Again, I'm gonna have a seat right here so we can see exactly what I'm doing. And right into rotations here. Again, it does not matter whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise at this time, because we're gonna do both. Get about 10 more seconds with this rotation. Again, making big circles with your toes. As much as you can, just get some blood flow in there. While we're holding our leg up, let's rotate now. While we're holding our leg up, hopefully we'll get a little bit more blood flow in the lower section of the legs. Again, big circles, finishing up in 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right. Okay, so hopefully now we're seated at this time. You can do your rounding and squeezing with the back. 3, 2, 1, and let's squeeze and round the back. Again, watch the head here. I do like to move my head while I do this exercise, looking forward and then downward. As we bring the arms forward, act like you're trying to get your hands as far away from your torso as possible. That'll help to really emphasize a good squeeze in the upper back. We really want to work on full range of motion this way, so we have a little more control in our posture for the upper body, especially if we're seated for the majority of the workday. Last one here, squeeze and relax. All right, going back into those rotator cuffs. For this one, I do want to go a little bit more than 90 degrees here, so I will drop my arms a little bit below my elbows for this one and try to go as far back as possible when I do this. So bring it downward and backward. Downward just a few inches below the elbow, like I'm showing you here. Again, elbow should be about shoulder height for this one. Just getting a little bit more range of motion in for this exercise. Again, watch out for your shoulders. Make sure there's no shrugging involved during this time. Just a few more here. We got about 5 seconds before we go back into the leg swing. Last one, good squeeze. And drop those arms. All right, at this time, let's stand up. We're gonna go back to working our legs here with those swings. I call them swings, but I do want us to have control on the way up and down. So move nice and slow with this one. And that's our cue. Let's go side and down. Coming up as high as you can. Some of you may be able to lift your leg a little bit higher than me. If that's the case, by all means, go for it. We have about 10 seconds here before we switch legs. Again, I like to take this leg and bring it in front of the one that's on the floor. Last one here. All right, let's switch sides and go right into it. Side and down. Again, you may feel the squeeze in the sides of your glutes. That's normal. That's what we're using for this motion here. Just a few more, last one. Excellent. All right, again, last exercise. Interlace those fingers, keep them right in front of the hips as we move up and down, just like that. So again, I'll be on my knees for this one for the sake of being on camera. You do want your lower back and your core nice and tight during this time. Otherwise, you may tend to lean a little too far back into this. The idea is not to lean back, it's to just bring the arms back as much as possible. You do want to have your core nice and tight, to avoid hyperflexing or hyperextending during this time. We got 10 seconds left here. One more big squeeze here. Bring it down nice and slow. And shake those arms out, shake the legs out if you need to. And that concludes session 2 of ReAdjust and ReEnergize.